Hi, my name is Jerica Patton, and I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I now live in New York. I am a hard of hearing woman. I have been hard of hearing for a majority of my life. It wasn't until I was around 4 when the doctors discovered that I had hearing losses in both of my ears, and therefore I wear hearing aids and I primarily read lips. So growing up, I had a normal childhood. I was a very active kid. I was always into studying. I was a straight A student. I was in plenty of extracurricular activities, just as normal as I can be. However, I, I did feel that I was a bit different. was treated a little bit different in the school system. I did feel like I was kind of like second class as compared to the other kids. I always noticed when people, I guess, took note of my hearing aids in my ears, and I felt like I was perceived as just completely different from everyone else, and it made me feel very insecure, and it contributed to my at the time low self-esteem. So yes, I was a great kid growing up, but I did have some challenges, such as because of my hearing losses, I did have a speech impediment. So there were kids that did used to make fun of me as a kid growing up. So eventually, probably around middle school is when I kind of stopped wearing my hearing aids because I was just tired of people just looking at me, staring at me, and or a kid making fun of me the way I spoke. Um, there were some words that I could not really pronounce very well, and I just got tired of that. And it used to really hurt my feelings, and really kind of felt ashamed, and of being hard of hearing, of being different as a kid. And of course, in middle school, adolescence, it's even harder, right? And so eventually, I would say I grew out of that. I would say into my adulthood, I grew out of it, but I did stop wearing it for a long time. However, while growing up, I discovered my love for music. I came from a musical family, so just about everyone played some type of instrument or sang. And I remember, I want to say in elementary school was when my father, he would play the piano sometimes, and I would say, Dad, what is that? I want to know too. Teach me how to play. And so he would show me how to play it, and I would get it just like that. I mean, I'm not talking about like twinkle twinkle little star. I'm speaking about left hand, right hand composition, and we're moving. We're making some music here. Um, but I remember, I can't remember if it was, I don't know if it was either Moon River or Exodus. I cannot remember. It was my first song that I've learned on the piano, but I would practice and practice, and I had it the next day, and I would do it almost better than him. And I just fell in love with it. And then from there, I just started composing music on the piano. And I was doing that at a very early age, going all the way up into high school, all the way up until like after college. But yeah, I came from that background, and I remember when I first heard Whitney Houston sing, and my jaw just dropped as a kid, and I was like, I want to be that. That's what I want to do. And I loved it. So I was always blasting music. I was always singing music to the top of my lungs. Hey, but I loved it. And so that was where my passion was. And so growing up in middle school, I played the flute and I was in band. High school was in choir, in band still. And even I had the opportunity, which was really a blessing for me. Attended Hampton University, which is an HBCU in Virginia, and I majored in music. My major was in piano, so I am classically piano, which was a lot of fun. But I never told anybody about my hearing impairment. Maybe one or two friends, but that was really it. I did not express it. I didn't want it to be known. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I loved music. From there, I had opportunities to conduct bands, conduct orchestras. I've had wonderful opportunities in college. But while at college, I discovered another love of modeling. So I started walking the runway in some of the college fashion shows at Hampton, and that really inspired me to, after college, for me to move to New York. And that's how I got to New York. I wanted to model, and I pursued a modeling career, in which I've had wonderful opportunities. And I've even walked in New York Fashion Week for prominent designers, such as Byron Laws, and I've always loved it. I think for me, whatever I was passionate about, whether it was music or modeling, I continued to move forward in that. I never thought for a second that I could not do something because of my hearing impairment. Yes, and to some degree, yes. I would say I was afraid of speaking in front of people because, the speech impediment. But eventually, I took those steps to overcome that. I was even in a pageant in college as well, and of course, lots of speaking in front of tons of people. And I remember the day, I think maybe a few days before the pageant, I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot speak in front of people. Like, no, 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 no. But eventually, I got the courage and I said, you know what? I wanted to be in a pageant. This is what I want to do. I'm going to proceed anyway, and I did it. And I think I won. I was second runner-up in the pageant, I believe, and I was excited, amazing. My friends supported me, and I think from there, because I always had that audacity or had the courage to proceed anyway. I've always had, I fell into amazing opportunities in spite of, whatever perceived impairment that I had, right? And so eventually, after doing some modeling, I said, you know what, I need to get back to music. Music is really my first love. And eventually I I started performing. I performed in St. Louis, had my first show in St. Louis, and I performed in New York. And I have 2 singles out. And yes, was it terrifying? Absolutely. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, how I'm going to pronounce all of these words and just get it all right. And I did the best that I could, of course, but like my love for singing, my love for performing and playing the piano was greater than any fears. I had to overcome that. I did it. It's what I wanted, and I was going to do it. And that was just something for me as a kid. I was just one of those kids. If I wanted to do it, I was doing it. If I didn't want to do it, I wasn't doing it. And that's how I've been able to succeed in life. And I'm very grateful for every opportunity. Yes, sometimes it's kind of like, what am I doing? I don't know. But, I think with my faith in God, in Jesus, He has empowered me to embrace who I am, and not to be ashamed of who I am. Being hard of hearing it's part of what makes me unique. And I've learned over the years to embrace it, to welcome it, to be proud of it. It's taken me some time, yes, through, a lot of therapy and, my faith and walking it out in my faith. But, I've gotten to this point and I love who I am. I'm happy with who I am, and I'm happy with what I have accomplished in life. And I'm excited for what is next for me. And I would say for anyone who is hard of hearing or who is deaf, there really is nothing that you cannot do. Yes, you may be unique. Yes, you may have may need special accommodations, but you can still do it. If you want to do it. No one can stop you, literally. It's all about believing in yourself and definitely having a support system that will support you, like your family or your friends or whomever. But just knowing deep down inside that you are amazing, you are beautiful just as you are, because you don't look like someone else, because you don't sound like someone else. It doesn't matter. Like, you are you. No one can replace you. No one can do it like you. And that's that. And those are facts. And I really hope that people can, maybe take any lessons from me and go after whatever they want in spite of whatever comes their way. Keep on moving, keep on pressing. Even if you have that moment where you feel afraid and you're kind of nervous, like, have that moment and then we move forward and keep on moving. Because there is a greater life on the other side of fear. It's true. It really is true. Yes, it's a cliche, but it really is true. Once you just like, hey, you know what? I feel a bit afraid, but I love to sing, and I'm going to sing anyway. And I do not care what you may think. It's my life. It's what I'm going to do. And hey, here we are. So I hope you are, I hope you all pursue whatever may be in your heart. I pray that all is well for everyone, and that you continue to move forward and knowing that you are beautiful and that you are amazing as is. Thank you.